Hello, everybody. This is Oof for Days. Welcome to another stream slash video on the channel. And this is going to be a somewhat anticipated video about the Roblox Exploiters Conference. And I'm actually going to make sure that my friend just uploaded a link to another Discord server that I want him to advertise it on. So check that. All right, let's get started. So, oh wait, did I not turn this back on? Oh no, I think the stream's just lagging a little bit. There we go. I see it now. All right, so the first Roblox Exploiters Conference. So this is going to be my thoughts and feelings, and also I'm going to give you guys the chance to discuss in the chat as well what you guys think about the new anti-cheat program that RDC 2022 has announced and proposed to a group of the most popular developers on Roblox. So first, let's actually watch that part of the RDC conference. So that's my next slide. Yes, I'm using Google, or not Google Slides, PowerPoint, because, well, it was easy. So the purpose of this discussion, I'll get into this first. So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be rolling the clip of Daniel Sturman, who is the guy that announced this at RDC. So I'm going to actually show you guys that clip. And then I'm going to analyze each part of the anti-cheat presentation, one subtopic at a time. I have some additional slides for that as well. And then I'm going to spend some time, obviously, working to talk to the community about the issue at hand. So let's go and get started. We're going to start off by watching the actual clip. The thumbnail is blurry. There we go. Now let's go ahead and watch this real quick, and I'll make sure the audio is good. Why did it pause? Okay.
And look, we've heard loud and clear from you that it's just getting difficult to create a really competitive game on Roblox because of cheating. So it's a focus for us. We have a good team on this. We have a long ways to go. We're changing direction, though. In the past, we'd all about what can we do to the client in order to make it harder to cheat. And we're going to continue to do some of those things. But we don't have control of the client. Once they have the code, they're making the calls, you can do anything to it if you're clever enough.
For once, this guy actually knows what he's talking about when it comes to how client-sided cheating works. So props to him on that, by the way.
So we're really starting to turn our focus as well to server-side cheat prevention, and we think this can really help an incredible amount. I almost put the email address of the manager for our anti-cheat team on the slide, but I was told that wasn't cool. So, but we're going to make sure we're talking to all of you about that. In fact, along those lines, one of the things we realized we need to do is this needs to be a partnership. So we're going to be spinning up teams to build specific developer tools, and we're going to be talking to a bunch of you, like, what tools do you need to work with us so we can combat this together? And lastly, and this is a broad thing safety-wise, we're really starting to go after alt accounts. If we find someone's behaving badly and we ban them from the system and they can just pop in again, that doesn't do any of us any good, right? So we're really getting better at understanding, yeah, you think it's alt, we don't think it's alt. We know who you are, right? And we're going to be focused on that from a prevention point of view. OK, a few quick things. There's some stuff we always do behind the scenes. Dave touched on this, both from scale and reliability. You don't see these as features in the app, but they're very important.
All right, so I believe that's the end of the conversation about the anti-cheat. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the next part of the presentation, which is going to be like kind of the pros and cons, my thoughts on what he just said. So basically what he's talking about here is, and I have to applaud his knowledge of that once executors have access to the client, they have the code of the client, that they can do basically whatever they want with it. So I highly appreciate him trying to actually, not deny it. He usually, like, people in Roblox try to deny it and say that, oh yeah, the Roblox client's unhackable. This guy was straight up honest about it. So I have to give him props for that, first of all. So I will say that first. Next, I'm going to talk about basically what I think about the feature. So based on what he's saying, he thinks, or I'm thinking that he's going to contact the biggest game developers first. So like this anti-cheat is going to get put into place in like the biggest games on Roblox, like I don't know, Meep City, Arsenal, maybe Phantom Forces, games like that. Maybe Bad Business. I don't not too sure. Just the most popular games on the platform. And I think it will slowly make its way down to the less popular games, kind of like filtering enabled a couple of years ago when all games were forced FE, which means that there were no more filtering disabled games on Roblox and a lot of scripts stopped working, especially scripts that took advantage of server-sided flaws. Those scripts stopped working. And then with FE, only very few scripts could interact with the server in a way that other players could see it. And basically, when FE came around, it was mostly just client-sided cheats that took over after that happened. There were server sides, but you would still have to backdoor a game, and that's more difficult because you have to con someone into doing that. So yeah, server sides are not as common as they used to be back in the day when you could just have a level 7 executor as your server side many years ago when FD was a thing, filtering disabled. All right, let's go ahead and move on. I will go on next.
So,
fuck. All right, so I'll go into this slide in just a second. What else do I have to say about the announcement? Oh, I'll get into alt accounts later. I'll go into alt accounts later. So let's actually get into the idea of client-sided anti-cheats versus server-sided anti-cheats, because this is going to be very important depending on what Roblox does with their anti-cheat. So based on the RDC presentation of the, the 5 minutes or so that they spent on the anti-cheat proposal, it looks like they're really going for the server-sided approach. Let me get a laser pointer going on here. Over here on the server side, on the right-hand side. Why is there 2 laser pointers on OBS? All right, that's weird. Try using a pen instead. That way. So it looks like, based on RDC's approach, they want to focus on server-sided anti-cheats, which, in my opinion, are pretty good. Even sometimes better than client-sided anti-cheats. However, they have their own flaws, and I'll get into each of those. So let me go and get a drink of water real quick. My throat's dying. Ah, much better. All right, so first of all, the pros with server-side anti-cheats. They are more difficult to directly manipulate, and it makes full bypasses sometimes even impossible or extremely difficult to implement for hackers. It's more useful for detecting attacks by comparing clients' data against the servers. For example, one example of this would be bans. Like the server can check to make sure that the client doesn't have any identifiers that the server has stored as malicious. And this is basically how games like Fortnite, Strucid, any Roblox game that currently exists on Roblox deals with bans. And like Roblox games already have systems to do this. It's just it's not a universal thing, and this anti-cheat that Roblox is creating wants to make it a universal. Yeah, the disabler idea, that's kind of like how Hypixel works. There have been watchdog disablers, and I actually talk about Hypixel on this slide. Just down here where my cursor is, I talk about watchdog here, and I'll get into that. Like, I'm trying to compare it to watchdog later. And then I will also say that with server-side anti-cheats, the cheat development for games with these solutions is going to consist more of trial and error, solely because server-sided code does not have to be on the end user computer. So basically, you cannot actually see the code for a server-sided anti-cheat unless the game is really, really badly misconfigured, and somehow someone on the client side can see the server-sided code. It's kind of how Roblox used to be back when filtering disabled was the norm on the platform. So that's basically what that's all about. Now, the cons with server-side anti-cheats is there's higher margin of errors because it's detecting things at a more of a broad level of things. So there's more potential for false bans. Just think about Hypixel Watchdog. Hypixel Watchdog is basically just one giant packet detector, and it checks for weird packets sent by the player's client. If for some reason a player acts somewhat suspiciously and sends packets in a way that Watchdog thinks is suspicious, regardless if the player is cheating or not, Watchdog is going to think it's a cheat, and they're going to ban the player. This is true because there have been many legitimate players who have been false banned on Hypixel before, sometimes even on camera. Of course, usually they get unbanned if it's actually recorded for a famous YouTuber. But most people who get false banned on Hypixel just get auto denied by the ban bots. If you know anything about Hypixel, what I'm talking about when it comes to that. It's also more inefficient than client-sided anti-cheats because the server and the client have to constantly communicate with each other. not necessarily a bad thing anymore. It's not really as inefficient as it used to be because things have been optimized a lot, especially with Watchdog. Watchdog is a server-side anti-cheat, but it works pretty good most of the time these days. I mean, it does have its problems, but every once in a while it has problems, but not always. I have noticed a thing with Watchdog on Hypixel, like where there's still false lag backs, even though I'm not cheating and it could be flagging me and I could get banned. So, again, server-side anti-cheats always will have false flags, and even client-sided anti-cheats will have false flags. And when it comes to the chat, I'm going to go ahead and get into the chat here in just a moment after I go over this particular slide, and then I'll spend some time discussing, guys. So, and then the last part was they're harder to bypass. They could be backdoored, which means that a backdoor could potentially bypass the anti cheat or spoof the server decided anti cheat. So, for example, on a Roblox game that's backdoored, the code for the backdoor could convince the anti cheat that the data being sent from the client is legitimate and not being spoofed or beyond what the player should be able to do. Now, with client-side anti-cheats, I didn't go into that part yet. So they're usually more efficient at detecting irregularities as there's no client server checking procedures, meaning there's no hop. It's just straight all on the client, and then it only has to hop to the server when it's detected something. It's useful at detecting attacks at a more technical level than server-sided because the client-side anti-cheat runs on the computer. It can check things like in memory or check things like that's in the kernel. This is why games like Fortnite, Apex Legends, most other popular AAA games use client-sided anti-cheats like EAC or BattlEye. EAC and BattlEye is on this side of the equation here, client-side anti. Why can I not erase that? There we go. I'm not used to PowerPoint. I never do PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and get into the pros and cons. Continue on with that. So it has lower margin of errors because it is within the client and it can detect irregularities at a much more precise rate and level than server-sided. I'm not actually too sure about Faceit anti-cheat. I think Faceit might be a combination of both. Anyways, so the cons with client-side anti-cheat. Any code, including an anti-cheat on the client side, is executed directly on the perpetrator's computer, which means that the owner of the computer, which could be a novice or even a seasoned exploit developer, they're able to directly modify a client-side anti-cheat to the point where it becomes useless. So basically, if Roblox creates a client-side anti-cheat with enough effort and with enough dedication, someone who works on a cheat can bypass it, no matter how hard they try to make a client-side anti-cheat. Never really be fully unbypassed, at least on Windows 10. Windows 11 is adding some features that might make it more difficult to do this, but of course, because it's client-sided, it's gonna be a cat and mouse game forever when it comes to client-side anti-cheats versus client-sided cheat developers. All right, slide. Okay, I'll get into this in a minute. Let me go back to the other slide. I'll get into that slide in a moment. All right, so I'm gonna go and read chat, and I'm gonna respond to some of your questions and comments from the beginning of the stream up to now. I'm gonna go ahead and start off at the top. So, Marcus Barnett, if you are still on the stream, I agree with you. It is very interesting, and I am definitely going to be following up on how they implement the anti-cheat. I'm probably going to make future streams as well, so be sure to stay tuned. Subscribe if you're new around here to see like what comes up after this and like how the anti-cheat works. Keegan, yes, it will be a bit harder to exploit the new anti-cheat, but I feel like it's probably going to get bypassed, especially if they focus on client-sided anti-cheat measures. However, they do say that they're going to work on server-side anti-cheat measures, and the extent of how that can affect Roblox scripting and exploiting is really stringent upon what the server-side anti-cheat is going to be programmed to check. So if it's just going to check for injections, well, I'm sure Synapse is going to be able to bypass that no problem. But if they start programming things with it that make it check for manipulation of the game, like changing values abruptly or changing values outside of a Roblox game script, it might be able to detect that Synapse is messing with Roblox game values that are stored on the client, and subsequently it could ban you from the game, ban you from Roblox, terminate you from Roblox as well. Lots of things that the server side have to do if it. Okay, let me go continue. Imagine it's like EAC where it scans everything almost every time you launch the game. That's more client-sided anti-cheats. Server-sided anti-cheats don't really have that ability. So if Roblox focuses on server-sided anti-cheat alone, they won't be able to do that. But if they do decide to invest in something like EAC or BattlEye, then that could be possible. I genuinely do think that DX9 will still bypass because it's an external injector. Um, yes, because DX9ware is client-sided and Roblox's latest measures are server-sided. If they're not going to be detecting too much on injections through server-side, like things that server-side can detect through a Roblox script cheat injection, then I think DX9ware is going to be just fine. A little bit more. Most of those just like regular comments. Imagine the anti-cheat just makes cheating easier. That feels like Roblox to me. You know what? I kind of feel like that could be the case as well. I feel like that could be a possible um thing that happens. I really don't feel like cheating FE made cheating easier because on Roblox, FE did actually cause a lot of server-sided scripts and it basically killed level 7. Level 7 in this context means that you could have a Roblox script executor, which back then RC7 was popular, and you could like use the van and kidnap and grab knife through your script executor on your computer and not through a server-sided GUI. These days, in order to do those scripts on FE games, you have to have it backdoored. Watchdog Duke, yes, I agree. They've been working on the client-side anti-cheat before. The thing is that they know when the player needs to inject, so the IP ban for 1 day unexpected client behavior. Yes, that is a common ban, and to bypass that, you just use a VPN and reinstall Roblox. That's all I really had to bypass that ban. I have gotten that ban before, but I've never really had problems with it, like problem bypassing. I've never had to do much to get around that detection. And that was like one time when Synapse was actually detected by Roblox and little new anti-cheat that they put in probably a year ago. I'm not too sure. As long as injections aren't detected, DX9 will be the quickest option to cheat. I agree on that because Synapse and other Lua executors are probably going to take longer to fully become undetected and not be banned by Roblox. But I have a friend of mine that I recently met in the SynapseX ecosystem. He is an admin SynapseX, and he's told me that there's a lot of things that Synapse will be able to do, and they've already been coming up with ideas for Synapse to counteract the system. Not much has been announced yet. A lot of this is just speculation, but I'm going to create more streams and more information as time goes on to really go through this one thing at a time, like just tackle all kind of one by one. ESP is extremely difficult to detect. I agree. And aimbot is very difficult to detect as well, unless unusual cursor movement. But then you can make your aimbot more humanized by not detecting. For example, so basically, if Roblox makes an anti-cheat like Fortnite's, Roblox cheats are just going to become cheats like that you would find on. It's basically what's going to happen if they decide to go that approach. Basically, Roblox will just become like how you cheat on Fortnite. All right, so I'm gonna go and move on since I've gone through most of the current comments, and we'll move on to the next slide, which is going to be talking about executors, which I've already kind of got into. So, how will these changes affect script executors? Well, in my opinion, I feel that Roblox script executors such as Synapse will see very little to no impact from this update, because according to the keynote, their primary objective is again to focus on a server-sided anti-cheat solution, while virtually everything executor utilities attempt to manipulate has to do with the Roblox client, not the server. However, if the new server-sided anti-cheat goes beyond detecting irregularities with Lua scripts and checks for irregularities with C/+, then executors might have to do a few workarounds every once in a while in order for their products to continue being fully undetected by Roblox. I kind of talked about that a couple minutes ago. I also talked about how the workarounds might take longer to implement as it'll become more of a trial and error type of game in order to make bypasses because they won't be able to directly manipulate the code within the client itself. They're going to have to trick the server into thinking what they're doing is legitimate, not the client. So they're going to have to like make sure that the client is sending the appropriate data to the server that the server will think, oh, this is legit, this is normal behavior without. So yeah, it's basically going to become trial and error because server-side anti-cheats, code of those do not need to be seen or ran by the client. So basically, this update has the potential to just further restrict power script executors will have. Just think of it as FE2. filtering enabled. All right, I'll go ahead and read the replies by Keegan here. Scriptware could possibly overtake Synapse in detectability. Who knows? We'll have to find out. Um, it just depends. We'll have to see. It seems like the Synapse team is fairly dedicated as well, from what I've heard. But that could just because I'm very one-sided on that debate, and I'm very tend to be kind of pro Synapse, so that there could be a chance that that could be influencing my opinion on that. All right. But what about Lua scripts? Will Fucker Hub die? So this is the part where Fucker Hub users I made this for. So we're gonna start off with Lua scripts in general, and then I'll talk about my script hub Fucker Hub later, a little bit later. Ghost client cheats go burr. I agree on that. I feel like closet cheating on Roblox. People already do it, but now it might just become that way. I just got forced in the Roblox beta client. Okay, I should talk about that. I'm going to talk about that in the stream as well. Thank you for bringing that up. I will talk about that also. That is not on my slides, but I'm going to talk about that. All right. So I'll get into the Roblox beta client topic after this slide. So anyways, let's go ahead and go through the slide. So unfortunately, depending on the extent that each individual game developer can customize the anti-cheat to fit their needs, I could see Roblox's new anti-cheat solution bringing severe implications and limitations to. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is if this anti-cheat is able to be very, very customized by the developer of a Roblox game. Say a Roblox game developer has the ability to add checks between the server and the client to their game for certain important variables like an ammo count. They could make it where the server will constantly check to make sure that the ammo count that's being depleted matches the ammo count that's on the client. And if the ammo count is higher than the ammo count that's being stored by the server can be like, your ammo count's too high, and it could break your gun, or it could ban you from the game, or it could report you to Roblox automatically, and Roblox could moderate you as well. I could also see a problem with the Roblox anti-cheat this way as well, because what if a Roblox, malicious Roblox game developer uses the anti-cheat settings, like the anti-cheat settings they can modify, to raise false flags to Roblox and get people false banned? So I feel like there's a long way for this anti-cheat to go before it becomes effective. Because Roblox is not one game. Roblox doesn't have the advantage of being like Fortnite, where it's just one game, one specific game mode, and they only have to add a couple of exceptions for their anti-cheat not flag. Roblox is a big, giant, basically metaverse, as Mark Zuckerberg would call it. It's giant, basically a giant metaverse of different games, and like some games are gonna have a higher walk speed maximum than most games, like most shooter games use the default walk speed of 16, but games like, Superpower Training Simulator, Anime Fighter Simulator, those player speeds, our walk speeds are going to be way higher, 200, 300, because they want the players to run around fast. That's kind of an anime thing, I suppose. So that's kind of one example of where the Roblox anti-cheat is, where context matters. Context is really going to matter with this anti-cheat. And I feel like this anti-cheat, if automated, is not going to be able to cut it. I feel like manual moderation is still going to be the way to go. And I feel like Roblox is not going to be able to implement this anti-cheat for a couple of years without severe implications drops out on Roblox entirely. So let's go ahead and go into some examples of what could be detected by these types of measures. And I already talked about it. So first of all, I could do character modifications. So if game developers can use the anti-cheat to make custom checks, they could set hard limits on what characters a particular game are able to do. So for example, walk speed, jump power, flight, no clip, god mode, infinite health, hitbox extender, all those could be patched this way. Those all have the values, and changing things on the client side of the server basically gets tricked into believing is normal behavior. And then there's also item modifications. So for example, with gun mods, I talked about infinite ammo as being a thing affected by a tailored version of Roblox's anti-cheat. It depends on if the anti-cheat is tailored to the game. I guess the anti-cheat could also check for Lua regularities as well, like check to see, oh yeah, is the Lua script being tampered with by an outside source? Is the Lua script being modified after the game has been loaded? basically is one way, because usually most Lua scripts in Roblox cannot be modified until after the game. Until after the game, they're never modified. Roblox Lua game like Lua scripts in Roblox games usually don't overwrite other scripts within their own game, so that's usually just the executor. So if, up values is a good way to tamper and protect against that. Arsenal already has that, and it flags normal players a lot. Yes, Arsenal already kind of has something like this, and because it still has a lot of false flags, it's not banning players yet. It's still being worked on. Basically, I think what Roblox is going to create is something like Arsenal's system, but just at a bigger scale and a universal scale. So when it comes to Fucker Hub, right? Fucker Hub is a very blatant cheat. Fucker Hub, matter of fact, utilizes some of those features to modify your character's behavior. And so games, as far as they've been able, games, which some games can actually detect that if they were actually given a good anti-cheat, Roblox could be able to detect it as well and cause further implication. There is one particular script that I will mention that probably will not be impacted by this, and it's Fucker Hub's universal aimbot. Because the aimbot doesn't use Roblox mouse inputs to lock onto players, it actually uses Synapse mouse inputs, Synapse mouse to cursor moving to make those movements. So because it's not messing with the Roblox camera directly, it'll be a lot harder to detect Fucker Hub's universal body Synapse functions. So basically, it's almost a C++ cheat with how deep integrated Synapse. And then of course the ESP is Synapse Drawing API based, which is also basically C++ based. So in that sense, Fucker Hub's universal aimbot and ESP shouldn't be affected, and the GUI won't be a problem either, as that's written render window API, which is basically an external GUI that you can use within Synapse itself. So like render window on Synapse v3 is basically you can create a UI tab that looks just like the regular Synapse internal, and it's your own cheat. It's kind of cool. I'll have to show you an example of that with a different Fucker Hub. And Keegan, that's unfortunate. No, Fucker Hub's render window API has nothing to do with core GUI. It's completely within SynapseX. It does not have to do anything with GUI. So, in terms of Fucker Hub, it won't be detected by that. At least Fucker Hub v3 won't be detected by that because it's that special UI library that is for SynapseX, and it has nothing to do with Roblox's GUI library. All right. So next, I'm going to talk about their claim to countering alt accounts. Now, this is a very interesting discussion that I'm going to have right now, and an interesting tip. And these are actually tips I've given out for years in case Roblox ever decided to, start doing this. And it sounds like, based on the keynote, because they did spend a moment talking about alt accounts, that they might actually begin to start using these measures against season cheaters, serial cheaters, as some outlets call them. So, what's the solution to that countering alt account claim that they're making? Well, it's very simple. You just need to apply knowledge from cheating in other games and bring it over to Roblox, because they aren't the first to attempt they're not the first to attempt countering cheating this approach. So I'm gonna have to give you a couple things. So first, you should never use your main account to exploit or break any other rules on Roblox. That's kind of a no-brainer. And then you should also never cheat on the same hardware ID, IP address, or any other personal identifiable information, such as your email address, that have ever been associated with me. Basically, don't link your main account and your alt account to the same password. So you should instead use accounts that are either not yours, which I don't really condone because that's illegal, or ones that you don't care about, or just make new accounts. You should also use a high quality VPN or virtual private network to spoof your IP address without detection. One of those is private internet access. You should also use a high quality hardware ID spoofer to change your computer's identifiers without detection. I have confirmed this fact with a SynapseX staff member not long ago, like right before I started the stream. So this claim about SynapseX having it should still be true as of right now. So SynapseX should actually have a hardware ID spoofer, given that you're using auto launch, not directly injecting. But I should also mention that you still might need a VPN in order to bypass their bans. I have heard that's a pretty common, like especially even with the new current unexpected client behavior bans that have been going around before this RDC keynote even took place. So next, if you choose to make your own accounts, don't use the same email address or password as your main. I just went over that. So in addition to those measures, you should reinstall Roblox after every ban and or remove tracing files. I doubt Roblox is going to go very far in this approach, but I decided to note this because other games like Fortnite do use tracing files to detect cheaters who have spoofed all of their hardware identifiers. So in other words, just try to make your identity on your alt accounts as different as possible from the identity Roblox has for your main account. So that's the idea with my approach to countering their alt account countering. Basically, it's a counter claim. I believe that's the end of the slides. Oh no, there's one more. So I have some honorably bad and even some good RDC proposals from this year's RDC convention. There was actually I'd say there's actually a couple good things that are great about RDC, about the new changes. I'm gonna go through the bad first. So first of all, yes, the new anti-cheat. What is it gonna do to RDC? And it might not actually affect us very much, but we'll have to wait and see. But there is one more thing that I really don't think is great for the Roblox exploiting community, and it's going to cause some confusion, and it's going to be about the Windows desktop beta. And if you don't know what that is, it's a version of Roblox that basically breaks script executors, and you have to try and do some really weird stuff to revert back to Roblox player beta.exe, which is the version of Roblox that script executors are made for. And they recently removed the disable app beta button from Roblox. I actually created a video on how to disable the Roblox app beta a few months ago, but Roblox had since removed that button. Now you have to reg edit or type some weird phrase into your browser in order to disable or your code in your browser. Roblox client that patched. So we'll have to look for more ways to bypass the new Windows app beta forcing of Roblox. Meanwhile, I'm using a bad free executor on Cheat on Arsenal without getting banned. Well, GG's, bro. That's great to hear. I'm glad that you haven't been banned yet. So yeah, so that's basically the worst thing. And this feature with the Roblox desktop app, I don't believe was mentioned in the keynote for RDC, but it's something that recently happened. So I decided I would do it. It even affected me also. And it looks like it's already been detecting, it's been affecting everyone else that has the desktop app beta. So I might not even be able to use Synapse anymore until I can fix my Roblox application regular beta instead of desktop app. So they're basically two different things. So the second thing, and these are actually a couple great things, and I wanted to end this off with a good note because there are some things that Roblox is changing that, well, might be pretty good if they are promising what they said they are. So let's start off with the best one. A less diligent chat filter, which means a less strict chat filter for those of you who are 13 years or older, according to your Roblox age, your Roblox account. There's also going to be age ratings for Roblox games that are not necessarily kid friendly, which means that games that are like more mature with blood and gore. I don't think sex games are going to get exempted from this, but who knows? Who knows if sex games will become allowed on Roblox with these new age ratings? I heard that there is going to be a 17 plus age rating, so who knows? Maybe sex games will make a full return to Roblox and they will be completely unmoderated. We'll have to find out how that goes. But I feel like 13 plus games and 16 plus games are going to be able to stand with laxer moderation. And also, and along with that, the less strict chat filter. Apparently, LMAO is going to become censored, according to a picture I saw on Keynote or somewhere else on Roblox. So supposedly, LMAO is supposed to become uncensored to older accounts, which of course LMAO means laughing my ass off or laughing my ass out. Roblox is also planning, they also said that they're going to try to come to more platforms, which is PS4, Nintendo Switch possibly. They didn't say which platforms, but they said consoles. And there's not many consoles out there besides Xbox, so that probably means it's going to come out to PS4, PS5, and Nintendo Switch. There's also going to be a huge overhaul to the Roblox mobile app, including the minimize disconnect problem, which if you don't know, whenever you minimize the Roblox app, at least on iOS, you get disconnected from the game. Roblox supposedly is going to try to fix that and make it where if you disconnect or if you minimize the Roblox app for a moment without fully closing it out, like say to reply to your mom's text message, you can instantly come back into Roblox without being kicked. Very annoying feature. Current Roblox mobile. I don't really play much Roblox mobile, but I do know that's a thing. Another thing that they're gonna try to add is avatar customization in game, which also means that there could be some new exploits for avatar customization because it's going to be done directly in the client. And say signups might be able to actually spoof this and make it where you can have like really bad no name shirts or make changes to your avatar that aren't legitimate, which might be pretty fun. More realistic graphics. They do that every year. They're also going to add more servers to mitigate catastrophic failures, such as the infamous Halloween 2021 outage. You guys know about that outage, I'm sure. And that outage was basically Roblox was gone for 3 days. You saw the famous "We're making things more awesome, be back soon" image message that they put on their website for like 4 days or so. So they're going to basically they're investing in more servers to make that less common, and they're gonna change how their servers work so that way if one part of a server dies, the whole server doesn't fall apart. It'll be able to like there will be multiple parts within a server that can operate. Basically, it's a fail safe to make Roblox more reliable. Next, I'm going to talk about they mentioned that there's not a plan to remove classic, which are R6 and R15 avatars, that they're going to keep those avatars even though they're pushing Arthro. They're going to keep classic avatars, which is great because I don't want to be a ugly Arthro character. I still love the original look of Roblox avatars. I still love R6 blocky avatars, the ones that you would see in 2004, 2006, 2012, up through about half of Roblox's lifespan. And there's also immersive ads. And this might be weird for me to say it's a good thing, but for those of you who make Roblox games on Roblox, if you guys are, hypocrites, you will actually get to make more money in your Roblox games to make your cut with your unreasonable cut on Roblox maybe a little bit more reasonable. Because, if you know anything about making games or doing business on Roblox, Roblox takes a shit ton of money from you whenever you do business. I personally sell Fucker Hub licenses, and in order to make 800 Robux on a Fucker Hub license sale through Roblox, which is 800 Robux is 10 US dollars, which is roughly the price of Fucker Hub, I have to charge 1,143 Robux to make a full return on Fucker Hub, on the full return of a Fucker Hub license. Because 800 Robux is 10 US dollars, and Roblox takes 30% of the cut, so I have to charge a couple dollars extra worth of make my $10. Because Roblox is going to take their share of 30%. If it's $3 out of the $10, out of the seven, right? $3 out of the $10 that I make, so I would make $7. So I have to charge a little bit more to make $10, and Roblox, $4. So yeah, R6 should be staying around, and so should R15, and all those classic things should be laying around. So yeah, that's basically what I have to say about RDC and the proposal. I've talked a lot in this stream today, but I really just wanted to inform you guys of what might be coming to the exploiting community, and I just want to spend probably the last 10 or 15 minutes or so just speaking with my community and just responding and reacting to what you guys have to say about future of exploiting. What do you guys think is going to be the future of exploiting? And maybe I'll get to speculate with some of the folks about that. So I'm going to spend this time just responding to your comment. I know this part of the stream is going to be a bit quiet, and I apologize for that. I might play maybe some instrumental music in the background, but I don't know what's copyrighted and what's not, so I might just quiet, unfortunately. But we'll see how it goes. So yes, for those of you who have been here the whole time, thank you for sticking around to listen to my little presentation on anti-cheat that Roblox is working on, along with some other features that RDC 2022 wanted to add to Roblox. It's kind of weird. Normally, I'm talking shit about Roblox, and there's only one thing at this year's RDC that I actually really disliked, or maybe two things. Sorry, two things about recent RDC actions that I disliked. So, you know what? This RDC, maybe it's not so bad. I thought it was going to be a total shit show, but it actually might not be as bad as I expected. And Roblox might become a better platform in some regard. And if we can honestly, if we can overcome the new anti-cheat, whatever anti-cheat shit they're trying to add, I feel like Roblox will actually become a better platform than it's been in. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna have some little problem, little dumb problems. It's gonna have the moderation spice garbage. The dev payment system is probably still gonna be unfair to developers of Roblox. Basically, slavery payments. Like for example, Roblox exchanges Robux to users a lot at a much lower rate than users exchange Robux. For example, 100,000 Robux is only $300 to developers when 100,000 Robux, I'm pretty sure, costs like $1,000 for someone to buy. Because I think 30,000 Robux is $100. So, I don't know. Maybe it's maybe a little bit more than that. Hold on, let me check the Roblox pricing. Are Roblox gonna stop automatically denying ban appeals? I did not hear anything about that in the. I didn't watch the entire thing. I kind of just watched a few parts that went over these details. So I didn't watch the whole thing. I just went over some key details. So okay, so 10,000 Robux. So $10,000 is what? $10,000 is 10,000 Robux? What? Hold on. Let me check this real quick. I didn't put this on the slides, but I do want to talk about this. No, so $100 is 10,000 Robux. So $10,000 is 100,000. Okay, thank you, Keegan. I appreciate that. Not play my own stream. Where'd it go? Ah, I'm messing everything up. Where's my stat page? There we go. I apologize. So yeah, $10,000 is 100,000 Robux. So that means that Roblox is exchanging Robux at a very, very different rate than what Roblox gets for exchanging 100,000 Robux. So DevX is very cringe, basically, when it comes to how it changes Robux. So if you spend $10,000 for 100,000 Robux, that's $10. That's $10. Yeah, $10. That $10 per Robux? That doesn't make sense. Wait a minute. 10,000 divided by 100, I think. So yeah, so for every dollar you pay it, so $1 gets you 100 Robux, basically. So $300 times 100 Robux, you are getting paid out the equivalent of spending $300. So basically, if you spent $300 on Roblox, you would get 30,000 Robux. If you exchange 30,000 Robux into real world dollars, you get 0. You have to exchange 100,000 Robux in order to get 300. So basically, Roblox is paying you 30% of what it should. Is basically probably a better idea how Roblox pays its developers, which is very sad. That's a very big undercut. But I do understand that Roblox's way of hosting is expensive, and I don't know if it's that expensive. Oh yeah, I fucked up. It's $1,000 for 100,000 Robux, but still, you're only getting paid 70%. Roblox is taking 70% of the money that you would have otherwise made if Roblox took any cut. If Roblox took a normal cut that other big game publishers take, if most game developers have a 30% cut. So say Epic Games, like PS4, Apple, Steam has a 30% developer cut. Steam takes 30% and the developers take 70%. If Roblox followed suit with that percentage, you would make 7,000 Robux for every 100,000 Robux. Sorry, you would make. I am so sorry. You would make $300 for every 70,000 Robux you took out. Or if you did it the other way around, you would make $700 for every 100,000 Robux you took out instead of 300, because you would just be switching the 70% and the 30% around. Basically, Roblox just decided to Uno reverse card the 30% cut. Instead of Roblox taking 30%, you take 30%. Roblox just did an inverted typical cut, which is very greedy, I guess. Kind of greedy. 70% cut's a lot for Roblox to take, especially when all Roblox has to do is just sit there in their executive chair and smoke some crack, and players have to actually work hard to make that 30% worth 30%. Oh yeah, so Roblox actually takes a cut twice. I really wish I talked about this on the slides. Kind of a bummer I didn't really get into this, but this is a great topic because if RDC ain't discussing about this, I don't know how the. Here's the thing about RDC. Roblox Developer Conference is with the most popular Roblox Lua developers. How are Roblox Lua developers not rioting against Roblox for their horrible practices? Unless Roblox is paying them off to suck their dick, maybe. Maybe Roblox actually pays those elite developers fairly and not everybody else. We'll have to find out. I don't really know how that works. I'm not that far in the Roblox legitimate ecosystem. I only work on the gray side of the Roblox ecosystem, so I don't know if there's an elite developer club that gets paid better than else. Because most Roblox developers are basically paid like slaves. They make very little, and usually they don't even make money on Roblox. They have to resort to making their money on YouTube and other platforms. And YouTube actually pays pretty good. They do pay you for ads. As a YouTuber, I do make some money off of this channel, and I'm hoping that. And by the way, to those of you who want to support me, you can donate in the chat. This chat, you do have the ability to donate in the chat if you would like to support my channel and support more streams like this in the future. Yes, I am. I see your message. I'm sorry, and I've just been talking about DevX. I apologize. So yeah, Roblox is coming to Nintendo. Supposedly, I don't. It hasn't been confirmed. I need to say that it has not been confirmed that Roblox is coming to Switch, but they did say that they're expanding to different consoles, and there aren't many consoles besides Xbox, so we can pretty safely speculate that it might come to PS4, PS5, maybe Nintendo Switch. I mean, Nintendo Switch has hentai games on the eShop, so I'm sure Nintendo's gonna have no problem bringing Roblox to Switch if Roblox chooses to do so and makes that deal with Nintendo. Nintendo just might want to take some of the cut that Roblox would have otherwise usually taken on their platform on PC. So yeah, that's basically it for DevX, and I actually managed to connect DevX to Nintendo Switch a little bit, or at least how Roblox deals with cutting um, transactions. Roblox is a rich company. This dirty practice of Roblox has made them a lot of money. Oh, that would be really funny. I don't want any more exploit counters. I don't really know how this exploit update is going to affect the community yet. This is a very new thing. We're gonna have to kind of play it by ear. I'm gonna make more streams or more videos about the anti-cheat proposal. This is a very new thing. Like this was literally just announced a couple days ago. Like I mean like 2 or 3 days ago. Maybe a little bit, maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. But this is a pretty new topic. Yeah, Dragon Slayer, it did force me into desktop on my main account, but I'm gonna try to disable it or see if my alt accounts are affected by it. If I can't disable it, if I ever find a way to disable it effectively in a way that works all the time, I'm going to create a video on how to do so on my channel as an update video to my previous one that I had skill issue, outdated loader. Is your DX9 we're giving you the kick for unexpected client behavior? Um, I will give you a fix for unexpected client behavior later, and I'll see if that is if it's a Roblox just banning you, because when you get kicked for unexpected client behavior, usually what happens, and why is my OBS still black? Oh wait, I turned it off for a moment. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go back to the original slide also. Let's see. This one. This is the if you guys didn't really mention, this is first Roblox Exploiters Conference. That's what this is called. I called this the rec in meme RDC. This is the first Roblox Exploiters Conference. I'm probably gonna make some more of these as well, just to communicate with the community. And now that I'm affiliated with Dark Hub in this sort of a way, I have kind of a community that I can reach out to and collaborate with live. So I'm very excited to do some more of these little streams to just collaborate with um, the Roblox exploiting community, at least part of it. Ultra Hub on top. Interesting. That is a bold claim. Did you come from the Dark Hub Discord? That's my question. I wonder if you came from Dark Hub. Saying that, then not only are you anti Fucker Hub Communist Party, you're anti Dark Hub Communist Party. At least the executor I'm using is still working. Why is my dog fucking? It's going so smoothly. Anyways, I'll Snowy, I'll discuss with you later after the stream. See if I can help your unexpected client behavior problem to see if it's a ban or if it's DX9's fault. I don't think it's DX9's fault. I haven't used DX9 in a while, but I'll try it out later. After I fix my goddamn desktop app beta thing from forcing me to use that. I tried a regedit trick, but for some reason it didn't work, so I'm gonna keep trying different ways of doing it, see if I can get it to work. I might also just try reinstalling Roblox entirely. You were told it was just laggy internet. Yeah, I'll talk to you about that to see if that was the case, um or if it's like an IP address ban, or like a ban with files. I figured out a way to get around it just by deleting one file on your computer, and that seemed to, at least for me, for a while. So I'll try that approach with you after the stream, and I'll probably make that method. I don't know if I'm gonna make it public. I might make it private. The registry desktop app thing doesn't work anymore, bro. That's a fucking bummer. Yeah, that's what I just tried the other day. Oh, DX9 doesn't work right now. Oh, yeah. I think Roblox should add that one day. I think that's something Roblox should add one of these days. And on the topic of like donations and supporting the channel, back to that. Even just watching my videos supports my channel, by the way. You don't have to donate to support my channel. I do get AdSense. I have ad revenue on my channel. And every view, legitimately, it does help and it does add up. Right? And that does support the channel. So for those of you who watch my videos, even just watch my videos, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thank you for coming to this stream to watch this stream as well. And I'm gonna have this stream archived on YouTube. That way people who missed it can come and watch it as well. And as they'll watch this, 1 hour long stream, there might be an ad or two, and that'll support me significantly because the revenue you get for videos longer than 10 minutes, or not 8 minutes now, make a lot more money than those that are not. I don't think desktop app is fully forced on all users yet, but I will go and verify that to make sure that that Keegan was. I'll fact check what Keegan said. Fucker Hub showcase when? Fucker Hub V3 is probably the showcase for Fucker Hub V3 is probably gonna come in the coming months, probably about a month. I'm still working on Fucker Hub V3, so I will work on making that showcase near future. Roblox Studio syntax is also not that great. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. Are you talking about syntax highlighting in Roblox's editor? Because I can kind of see that it has some bugs. Slow mode is on. Please wait 0 seconds. That doesn't make any sense. Why is slow mode saying 0 seconds? All right, so to kind of conclude the stream here, it actually looks like the stream's still going pretty good. Still got 7 viewers, so I suppose I'll stay on for a little bit longer. For those of you, have anyone else in the stream? Or in that 1, 4, 5. I'm pretty sure like almost everyone watching is actually commenting. This is great. This is a great stream viewer turnout. Thank you guys for actually being active in this stream. My streams aren't always that active. They're not always as active, but of course, you did come to the stream knowing that you would actually be discussing RDC's new anti-cheat thing and I guess some other about Roblox as well that we all come to know and love about the platform, I suppose. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I've I've slowly began to find Roblox cheating more and more boring. Um, I've gotten more bored of it. I've wanted to quit a couple times. I'm gonna be totally honest. And a lot of people, even Fucker Hub buyers, I've probably seen about 10 Fucker Hub buyers who have quit Roblox permanently and moved on with their lives to do more, I guess, mature things, right? Unfortunately, I don't give out free Fucker Hub due to. I mean, I might do a giveaway one day, but I don't really give it out for free. I might do when Fucker Hub V3 comes back. I'm gonna give you guys a little. When Fucker Hub V3 comes back, I'm planning on making a kind of a flash sale, and I'm probably gonna do like 40% off. So for those of you who don't exactly have $11 to spend on Fucker Hub, I would wait until I release it, and then I probably will do a flash sale shortly after the main release. Like I'll probably make it full price for about a week, and then I'll do a flash sale, like a back to Fucker Hub sale. Basically, it's just instead of back to school sale, it's just back to Fucker Hub sale, and I'll make it like 40% off, so something like that. Little discount for you guys. It won't be like 10% off. It'll be more than that. It'll be at least 30% off. I don't know what I'll make it yet, but probably at least 30% off. But because I really have delayed this for so long, I really want people to really enjoy it and have fun with it after spending so long working on it. I think I'm gonna make it maybe even 40%, which is one of the biggest discounts I've ever given for Fucker Hub. So definitely look for that sale, and I will announce the sale when it happens. Well, Trigon is another good executor. I used to use it back before I used SynapseX. Old Trigon was pretty. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end the stream in about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, because that's 1 hour. I mean, I could go a bit longer than an hour, but I figured maybe an hour would be a good time to stop the stream. But if there's still a lot of people talking, I'll go ahead and I'll stay in the stream so that way everyone can finish their conversation. Because part of this stream is for me to discuss with you guys, and that's what the last 15 minutes have been. Like the first 45 minutes was me basically going through slides, going through information, and watching the RDC video, of course. Would you guys like to see some more of the RDC video? Would you guys actually want to see some more of the RDC um, video? Because I'll play the RDC video if you guys would like to see some, like a few of those other that they mentioned, like the new server, the way servers are gonna work was right after the anti cheat. So that I can easily show you. The other things I don't know if I can find, but I can definitely find the part of the keynote that talked about how um basically how the new server system is gonna work. So just let me know, and I'll Server-sided scripts. I personally don't know too much about server-sided scripts either. I mostly work on client-sided cheats. I've never really dug too far into server-side exploiting after FE was commonplace. So most of my skill and expertise comes from like synapse Lua scripting, SLUA as it's called. But basically, server-sided scripts are basically they're kind of a different style of script, basically a different way of script. Server-sided scripts are scripts that are sent to all clients, basically. Server-side scripts deal with all clients. And if you execute something on the server side, you can make it where certain clients will see that action being taken place, or make it where all clients action take place. Servers can also do things like kill players, make all players god mode, give players fly. It's how like things like Cole's admin. So basically, server-sided scripts do the things that um used to be able to do back when filtering disabled was a thing in games. Like back in the day when you could use grab knife and like the free candy kidnap van, like the van script that used to be very popular. All of those things. Yeah, it's exactly like a Minecraft backdoor. It's just like a Minecraft backdoor. Pop Bob's backdoor. I'll actually type that in chat. It's just like Pop Bob's backdoor. Well, server-side scripts that are maliciously executed, at least, are usually through a pack. So that's kind of how it's kind of like how backdoors work in Minecraft. Except backdoors in Minecraft sometimes are more powerful. They can give the owner of the backdoor root access to the computer or machine that the server is being hosted on, which is what iTristan and Pyrobyte had back on 2B2T. If you know about 2B2T history, you'll know what I'm talking about. Those two players are very important to 2B2T history. Yeah, Pop Bob's sex dupe. Right on. We gotta love Pop Bob's sex dupe, am I right? And yes, I am a cultured 2B2T player. I've played 2B2T a couple times. Not really on this channel, but I have played 2B2T before. Yes, I believe he was saying, I believe he censored himself so that way YouTube wouldn't flag the comment. YouTube does flag comments on the channel, or sorry, in chat, but I usually approve them. I do allow YouTube to flag comments because of spam, and YouTube does flag spam, and I don't want spam in my chat as much. But like innocent messages that are just trying to get a point across, like to say sex or to say like a swear word, of course I'm gonna allow people to see that. I swear like a sailor myself, so it'd be very hypocritical if I did it. So that's why I don't mind uncensoring some of the flag messages. Most flag messages I do not keep censoring. I usually allow them to be seen. There's only a few types of messages that I don't allow to be seen on the stream chat. Is there anything else that you guys want me to go over with in terms of that? Server-sided scripts, client-sided scripts, anti-ban modules, and some scripts do almost nothing, or what? Anti-ban modules, some work, some don't. It just depends on how shitty the anti-cheat of the game is. If you can find a way to trick the server's anti-cheat into doing something that makes it think that your client's legitimate, I guess an anti-ban. You could also use a anti hook, like using an hook function or a new closure, or a combination of both. You could make a anti-kick script. Actually, no, I think you would use meta tables for that one. There's lots of ways to make an anti-kick script for Roblox, but I believe that only works with client-sided anti-cheats, not server-sided anti-cheats. Yeah, just remember that those types of scripts, I believe, are only for client-sided anti-cheats firing. It won't do anything if it calls the server to ban you. You would have to intercept that call to the server in order for you to not get banned. But if the anti-cheat simply kicks you and it's on the client side, it's a client-side anti-cheat, you can easily bypass it. Alright. Roblox should just make an anti-cheat for all games, including fly speed and stuff. I think that's what Roblox is actually trying to do. I think Roblox is trying to detect those types of modifications. The problem with that universal detection is it's very context based. Roblox games have many different ways of allowing players to use a character. Roblox would have to make a lot of changes to how games work in order to make that cheap. Because think about this, and yes, Nagok, um, it is false span 100 because Roblox doesn't have a universal way of player movement. Some Roblox games actually allow your player to fly, and that's fair game in Roblox. Think about Clone Tycoon 2, for example. In Clone Tycoon 2, your character can fly in the air without a vehicle. You can just fly in the air, I'm pretty sure. And Roblox would be like, no, 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 you can't do that, even though it's the game allowing you to do that. So the problem is an anti-cheat like that would have to be extremely context-based to the point where it's virtually impossible to to make it accurate without collaborating with each developer individually. I do feel like Roblox could make it more effective if they only collaborate with the most elite developers that make the most popular games. For example, Roblox could work with the Arsenal development, make Roblox anti-cheat work better for them specifically, and then work with Meep City's development team separately to tailor the anti-cheat for their game. The it has to deal with context. The better the context, the more accurate this anti-cheat will be. And that's actually how this anti-cheat seems to want to work. So until this anti-cheat becomes very context based, there's going to be a lot of false bans, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of outrage, and I feel like this anti-cheat's going to get gutted. So there's a chance that this anti-cheat gets implemented and then gutted. There's a very realistic chance that this anti-cheat might not even last because of that. Simply scan GUIs for strings. That's a horrible detection method. Fucker Hub will not get detected by art. That won't even detect Fucker Hub, but it might detect some other stuff that Roblox GUI. Basically, all free executors die if they do that. But not all free executors have a um, higher level interface than what Roblox provides. What if you just inject scripts outside of Roblox? That's kind of how Fucker Hub v3 works. Are there ways of getting the source code of Roblox games other than leaks from the inside? Okay, so I need to speak, Hogera, I need to speak very, very clearly about this. If your exploit has a decompiler, as Hello said, you can actually do that. But you can only decompile client-sided scripts because, again, server-sided scripts don't need to be ran on the user's computer in order to function properly. I talked about this earlier with my server-side anti-cheat pros and cons. Let me actually go back to that slide because that's actually a pretty good slide to compare this to. Where's it at? Here. Um, because client-sided scripts run on the user's computer, your decompiler can decompile client-sided scripts, but it cannot decompile server. At least ever since filtering enabled was used. And this new anti-cheat might just be filtering enabled 2.0, really, if I'm being honest. Right, back to that page again. So, yeah. I figured I'd just get into that because I wanted to make that abundantly clear because decompilers do not decompile server scripts. They can decompile local scripts, core scripts, and module scripts, I believe, but it cannot decompile regular script, quote unquote scripts, or um, other things on the server that only exist on the server and don't have code stored on the client. One of those examples is just the name, like there's an object in Roblox just called script, and those are server sided. Local scripts are client sided, and those can be viewed by the client. I don't think you could decompile server scripts even if filtering is disabled. I didn't really cheat on Roblox too much back then when FD was a thing. I feel like it might have been possible, which is just because of how broken Roblox was back then. I feel bad for the people in comp leagues who cheated their way in. I don't really feel bad for them. They they just if they want to still have an advantage, then they need to go and pursue that advantage. If they can't continue to cheat, well, shame on them. They weren't dedicated enough to the trade. Usually when games get their source code leaked on the server side, it's because their game got hijacked by like the game like the owners of the game, like the account that owns the game got hacked, was able to access the Roblox suit. That's probably the only way you're gonna be able to get your server sided stream. I think that's probably also how Lumber Tycoon 2 got leaked. Because Lumber Tycoon 2 has been leaked maybe twice in history. So because there's lots of Lumber Tycoon 2 knockoffs. I've even made my own with Tycoon 69 LXIX. Roblox in their keynote also talked about that they're gonna try to remove a lot more game clones from their website. So like a lot of modded games might be going away, which is a shame. Some of those modded games are a lot of fun to play. And I think Roblox brought this up because of Project Bronze Forever, which is a Pokemon Brick Bronze game that Roblox has been basically been playing cat and mouse with for about a year. I think that's why Roblox brought that up at the keynote, because it's actually not only is it a problem for game developers, but it's also a copyright problem in some cases. Yeah, Roblox seems to want to get rid of those. And that's actually kind of a sad thing. My friend got the weightlifting sim source case, or source cause dev made it for like an hour. Yeah, sometimes developers just make straight up oopsies like that too, and that gets games. Defaultio might have done that. Oh, he made it uncopy blocked. Yeah, that means the whole game got stolen. As soon as someone figured out it was uncopy blocked, game. Yeah, there's multiple ways that you could get server sided scripts for a game or steal games entirely, but the most common way is probably through hijacking or social engineering. Second most common way is to stalk a developer like GitHub page or developer profile and see if they make an oopsie with their publications. Some games already have an anti-cheat and it works pretty well most of the time. Without the Roblox itself. Yes, many Roblox games already do have anti-cheats, and it's kind of interesting because a lot of games have actually done pretty well, and they've made anti-cheats that are pretty damn good, and they're not easy to bypass. But Roblox doesn't. Roblox seems to want to support everybody, not just who can make an anti-cheat. I feel like the weightlifting simulator developer won't have much legal battle. The only way the weightlifting simulator developer is probably going to win a legal case against it, they don't own copyright. You can't really copyright a Roblox game as far as I'm aware. Roblox owns the copyright. The only way that the legal action that case would go well is if Roblox joined weightlifting simulator's developer's side. And I don't think the game is big enough that Roblox is going to want to intervene in a legal battle, like putting themselves in a legal fight with someone who just copied. It definitely seems like Roblox doesn't want to deal with too many lawsuits because they do seem to be pretty hands off when it comes to suing. Like most, like if I made a cheat for any other game except Roblox, I would probably be having the FBI knock. I'd be having cease and desist letter. at my mailbox constantly. But Roblox has a very hands-off approach to dealing with cheaters, and it's their Roblox's approach is so hands-off that it sometimes feels like they don't even deal with cheaters. I've never been banned on Roblox for X. I've only been banned once on Roblox for X. I've never really been banned, like severely punished by actions on Roblox. I'm exploiting. I have been banned for bypassing the chat filter before and swearing in the chat, but I've never been banned for exploit specifically, except maybe that one time that Synapse was detected by Roblox, and some Synapse users did actually get terminated, banned, whatever. But for the most part, as a Synapse user, I've never had moderation. Never been moderated on Roblox for the most part. That's probably gonna be the end of the stream. I was about to end it anyway, so that's probably gonna be the end. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And yeah, that's just a friend of mine on Dark Hub. I have a couple folks on Dark Hub. It's been a great partnership so far. Those of you who are part of Dark Hub staff, um, yes, it's been a great ride so far, and it's been great working with you guys. Those of you, again, part of the Dark Hub staff, been great. Thank you guys for allowing me to work with you guys, and it's been great so far. And I hope to continue working on Dark Hub with you guys. And yeah, thank you guys for watching the stream, of course, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace out, guys.